Hey guys! In this video I'm very excited to do the so-called Elon Musk challenge, and that is I will pick my top 5 biggest problem in the world and then I'll try to solve them in 15 minutes. So the idea behind the Elon Musk challenge is that entrepreneurs and business startups and business leaders usually beat bureaucracy. And a good example of that is that Elon Musk, he was able to build the SpaceX rockets that could land by themselves with way less budget than NASA had at their disposal. So NASA had a lot more money at their disposal, but they didn't get near reaching the same goals as Elon Musk because he's an entrepreneur and he has a different mindset, more flexible, quick thinking, quick solutions, and more importantly, the most efficient solutions with the resources that you have available. Whereas very large organizations, on the other hand, they are limited by bureaucracy. During this video, if you get any good ideas, like quick, bright ideas, write them down and make your own video and share with your friends. Because if enough people do this around the world, there's going to be a certain number of very high quality ideas that might be the actual perfect solutions to solve these problems, okay? And fun fact, I have a similar background as Elon Musk, being a student of science. Here's my university student ID card. I study nanoscience. What we do in science is we measure what's going on in the world, and then we build a theory that can explain what's going on. And that way we have a working model for how to make progress and how to use this to make the world better, okay? And on the other hand here, I also put some of my tools here, so I'm also an engineer by hobby. So I can take a motorcycle engine apart and measure the parts, change the part that needs to be changed, and assemble the engine. So I got some of my power tools here, a welding machine, a motorcycle clutch, to kind of symbolize the hands-on approach and my engineering skills as well, which I share with Elon Musk. He's the chief engineer of SpaceX, his rocket company. And as you probably know, he's also inventing groundbreaking technologies with his Tesla company and solving some of our problems in the world with that. So the 5 biggest problems in the world that I will try to solve in this video to the best of my ability will be solving the current energy crisis in the world. Secondly, trying to unite the world, unite the society. There's a lot of conflict going on. And number 3, talk about how it's possible to be positive in a difficult situation and why there's reason to be positive no matter how tough things get. And number 4, how it will be possible to have a future without war and conflict, actually in the near future, if we do the right steps. And number 5, how to navigate all the information that is being made available for us. There's so many different sources of information and often they are conflicting. So we're going to talk about all this, and I'm going to mix in stories from real life. So I've had clients during my last decade of work being an entrepreneur. I've had clients from all over the world that have high positions in both oil industry, military, intelligence, media, government, and sports, international lawyers, hotel industry. And I've also traveled and worked in 4 different countries, which all give me a perspective of the legal structure internationally, but also a perspective of the world as a whole, more complex system. And I hope when I do this video, like Elon Musk he does sometimes, points out solutions to problems in society, I hope it will be the start of a trend where businessmen will offer solutions to big problems in a simple way that's hands-on, where we solve things the easiest way and the most powerful, impactful way, instead of making things more complicated than they need to be. So before I will start going through the solutions to these 5 problems, let me give you an introduction to myself and my background. So as I mentioned before, I have studied nanoscience, and then during my studies I decided to do a tech startup during the smartphone boom. So I became an entrepreneur and a problem solver. And as I mentioned, I'm also a mechanic by hobby, which I think is relevant to this type of video because we are talking about being hands-on with solutions You know, a lot of people, they own a motorcycle or a car, but just because you have a motorcycle, it doesn't mean that you know how it works. So that's what we're going to do in this video, is we're going to look at all the moving parts inside the engine of the world, so to speak, and understand the true nature and the cause and effect that makes things possible and the dynamics that's at play in the world on a large scale. Okay? I've also held a managing position in a large corporation that you will definitely know the name of, but I'm not going to mention it in this video. But it gives me insight to the strategy that goes on in big corporations, which will become relevant later in this video. Okay? But as you probably know, it's always about growth, and that's not always a good thing if you disregard the life quality of people and a lot of other factors. And as I mentioned before, I've also, through my work, had many clients that are senior executives in many different industries across the world. I've even had accountants from the biggest corporations in the world and talked to them about how things work. And even though it was just a short conversation I had with these people, their honesty gave away some very relevant things to understand if you want to know how things work and how problems can be solved in this world. Also, I come from an academic family. My two grandparents were doctors. They built hospitals and schools in Africa. And my dad was a doctor and his brother was a doctor. And two of my uncles were doctors, one of them at Stanford University. And also as a kid, I have been reading science magazines. And already as a 10-year-old, I thought out the concept for Elon Musk's Hyperloop project. Because after I learned in school the principles of levitation through electromagnetism and the principles of vacuum, I put two and two together. So I already thought out the concept of an electromagnetic railway where it levitates and travels in a vacuum tube. And I also thought about things from the big perspective, like how did the universe start and where do all the laws of physics come from and that sort of thing. And the big question, like, is the universe infinite and stuff like that. So I've already from a young age been thinking about large scale questions and problem solving. Yeah, so that was a quick introduction about myself and what we're going to talk about. And again, I'll be happy if I can start a trend of entrepreneurs joining this new trend of offering solutions. Use your skill for the whole world's problems and not just for your own business problems, okay? Because in the situation of major crisis that we are facing at the moment, we need to use our minds in the best way possible to solve conflicts and bring people together and bring more unity instead of splitting people and dividing people. And that's done through understanding and having the correct knowledge available for everybody. So let's do this, guys. Let's get started. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.